And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
The most historic day in the history of days happened yesterday. Absolutely 1,000. You shut your fat hole for a minute. Yesterday,
I gave myself brain freeze.
Yesterday was the most historic day in American history. The by God Ohio State Buckeyes won the college football national championships over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and we are here to talk about that and maybe a presidential inauguration and some other stuff. Right here, I say to you, and you, and you, and you sitting over there, and you Chaka wherever you are, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
It is a good day to have a good day. I have been on cloud nine since last night. It has been a good day. And, you know, there was some presidential shit going on too. But that Chris Burns here, right below me, fluffing his hair so you people can see that punk rock and age don't necessarily go together.
Chris Lynch, who gave himself brain freeze trying to chug this Powerade.
Why would you want to do that?
It's been in my car all day, and it's been 20 degrees.
In my family for 3 generations. That's
right. This is the first ever Gatorade ever made, ever.
This is the first Gatorade ever.
I'm going to jam it up your ass.
What's that sludge on the top? It's just to protect.
I got sealed bottles of Diet Pepsi up in the fucking closet from when Pepsi made the 1 liter bottles and stopped. There's a full 6-pack of glass Diet Pepsi up there.
I guarantee you, if you pour that on your sidewalk, you'll never slip again.
No, and I'm curious because like it's a full 6-pack and I don't even know what a person would pay for that, like a soda collector.
I don't know. Sealed full bottles. I would say don't drink them, please, whatever you do. But speaking of drinking, it's the producer extraordinaire. It's the man with no hair. It's Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
What is
now? Before we went hot, Herm had a slip of the tongue, which made me chuckle a little bit. You guys know he's been on the weight loss journey. Now, what he said was, and I'm going to say it out loud, and then Herm's going to tell you what he really meant. I'm down to 90 pounds, which is horseshit because Herm hasn't seen 90 pounds since the third week of the 4th grade.
No, I went to see a magician, and we did the saw the lady in half trick, and it's just me. I'm just a fucking legless torso, and that's how it's just no arms, no legs. It's just a torso and a head, 90 pounds.
Now tell them,
Barbie pretty. Let's go.
Tell the nice folks what you meant to say, which made more sense.
Yeah, I am down 90 pounds. I'm down to the 90-pound weight loss mark. As of like this morning, I was 243 and change.
That's fantastic.
Which at the beginning of August, I was 334.
That's pretty awesome.
So another 30 pounds. Take it down to
now.
210.
If Lynch cut his beard off, he'd be down to 90 pounds.
Hair don't weigh much.
Neither do you nowadays.
Family of raccoons that live in there, I've got to be at least 40 fucking pounds of biomass, bro. I'm just saying.
Look. I can comb through it, and no raccoons fall out.
That's just the surface. It's like deep water. Just because it's calm on the surface doesn't mean there's shit going on deep in the water.
Is it like Narnia? When I part my beard, you can step inside.
Don't quote the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Okay?
There you go. Did anybody happen to catch any of that football game last night other than me?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, fantastic game. If they ever do one of those replays, like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, was that a NBC presentation? It might be available to stream on Peacock. For the doubters, people who say,
well, YouTube TV can go right and find it. That will work as well.
Completely forgot about that. Thank you for that. It was the game that Ohio State needed to play after the loss to Michigan, and the people who like to put their foot out and say this team doesn't deserve this or this team doesn't deserve that. I know a lot of people like that. So, but the rules are the rules are the rules. There's a reason why. What's up, Leon, in the comment section? There's a reason why the playoffs are structured the way they are, and whether it's in college football, baseball, or this or that. They got there. They won the whole thing. Quit your crying, Michigan fan. Just because you beat Ohio State in November doesn't mean you should be the national fucking champion. Let's leave it at that. But it was a hell of a game.
Good on Ohio State. That's the first time in how many years?
10.
10. I was going to say at least a decade.
Yep.
And I know people shit all over the Ohio State, and there's that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. I don't follow college football. I used to when I was in high school.
Just Ohio State.
And I just kind of professional football takes up too much of my time already between fantasy and watching the games. I wish I was more into college ball, but good on you, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Congratulations. From what I understand, you played a hell of a season, and fuck the haters.
Two losses.
The best team won.
Absolutely. And I had some Michigan fans texting me last night saying the exact same thing. The best team won. You know, there was no one else who was going to touch them. There were 2 losses, one to Michigan, one to Oregon. But then in the playoffs, they got to see Oregon again. So they got the win back, if you will. So I was excited.
Now,
Go ahead.
No, continue your thought, then I'll interject.
I was just going to say, I was very excited. I'm not one of those guys that immediately after the game, when they put up the commercial, which they do every freaking year at every freaking sporting event, the Super Bowl's not even, they haven't even got to the trophy presentation yet, and the commercials come up. The Ohio State Buckeyes are your 2025 national champions, and you can get the T-shirt and hat now. I could not get to the phone fast enough. Got me the hat, got me the shirt. It's been 10 years. Teams that I like winning a championship isn't like, every fucking year. It's spaced out a little bit. And unfortunately, 2014, because the Bruins were just before that. And, the Yankees, I could roll it back, but I'm not a sports fan that sits on championships. But when they do win, I'm happy. Always been and always will be a Buckeye fan. Thank you, Leon. You are never banned from the show. But go ahead, please, Lynch.
But speaking of football, some interesting tournaments in the professional league this weekend.
Yes.
Some of the best football games I've watched in a very long time. The Bills. Got to give it to the Bills. That game could have been completely different had Edwards not dropped that ball in the end zone. Even still could have lost. But that was one hell of a football game, and I think the weather kind of got the best of both teams. Congratulations to the Bills moving forward. The Jets. Not the Jets.
The Jets?
The Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah, you remember them.
The Eagles. Green. He got fucked up with green. He got the green fucked up. The Packers. What? The Packers? What?
Oregon played this weekend. And
I was going to say the Oregon Ducks.
Go ahead, Lynch, please. Lynch?
Hello.
The quarterback and Saquon Barkley, they'd still have a fucking team.
The thing with the Eagles,
Saquon Barkley is he's a one in a million player on a team that's not quite as brilliant as him. But for whatever reason, him and that quarterback fucking connect.
Jalen Hurts.
Him and they just connect. They got something going.
It's chemistry, and chemistry wins championships.
J-Lo plays football now?
It's her son, Jalen.
Nice. Big ass booty.
Yeah.
Catching the ball.
And he can run that big ass booty too. But to Lynch's point, I've said this before. It's all about chemistry. You can go out and get every free agent in history, and your team's going to suck. You can go out and get also Rands that were cast aside on other teams. The Patriots are a perfect example. Yes, you had Tom Brady, and yes, you had what's-his-nuts, the defensive guy that was on all the commercials, Vince Wilfork. And you can have 2 or 3 superstars, but you put a cast of characters together that are hungry, but not the best. You can be the best team. Chemistry wins. The Yankees did it. The Red Sox have done it. The Broncos did it back in the day with 2 or 3 superstars and cast-offs. The Patriots just took, because I think one of their coaches went to New England, the Patriots took Denver's playbook to Foxborough and started winning championships. Herm, am I wrong?
No, not really. They took. I mean, we saw it as we were growing up. Did you see a tighter group of fucking, just a tighter team? How many years did the defensive line doesn't talk? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Defensive line doesn't answer questions.
Nope.
Whatever it was, we as a group, the solidarity that you would see on that team, regardless of how the team was performing, the team performance was not a reflection of how tight the fucking team was. Nope, we don't talk individually. We talk as a group, or you can talk to our coach.
Yeah,
That's
or
it.
if you had a designated, which I think the Raiders did this for years when they were in their winning ways. They had a
They literally had a spokesman. We have one person we've designated will talk to you. The rest of us ain't saying shit.
And where is he now? He's in the commentary pregame, halftime, postgame. Howie Long was their spokesperson.
Right, like literally Howie. You talk pretty good. Just you tell them what we thinking, and that's how they worked. Raiders did it. That was the way football worked. No, we don't talk. The Patriots then started that shit. We don't. No, we're just concerned with next week.
Yeah, and they brought whoever
next week. Doesn't
whoever
matter
the
what
coach
question
was.
is. And
Whoever the coach was that came over.
We're only worrying about next week.
Yep, and whoever the coach was that came over from Denver, it was a offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, I can't remember which, brought that chemistry thing with him and partnered with Bill Belichick and the Kraft family, even when they're not getting rub and tugs from an Asian woman, put that together to build a dynasty. And that's what you need to do, chemistry.
Yeah.
But in college football, that's different because you only have 4 years. Go, please.
I also want to say kudos to Lamar from Baltimore Ravens post game. Josh Allen, he and Josh Allen locked eyes and walked right up to each other and gave a big hug to each other. And Lamar said it with a smile, and he looked happy for the guy. And he whispered in his ear, "Get something. Yeah. You deserve this." I mean, that's fucking class, man.
Right, and I think the sport of football and sports in general need more of that. I'm of a mind that as long as it's not the Saints, I will root for the NFC team in the Super Bowl because the Saints are the number one rival. But then again, I can't say that because I have rooted for the Saints in the Super Bowl. Same with the Red Sox. If the Red Sox beat the Yankees and they go to the World Series, I'm not going to say it outwardly, but in here, go Red Sox. You know, they're your main. They're in your division. You want your division to be the best, and the championship goes. It kind of belongs to all of you. If an American League team wins, it kind of belongs to all of you. But that team is the champions. Your league is the best, whether it's American League, National League, American Conference, National Conference, whatever. You know. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I felt really bad for Detroit because I really wanted to see them in the big game.
Shot my Super Bowl pick all to hell.
Yeah. And the coach's interview afterward in the locker room was very poignant. Yeah, I mean, he felt it.
A team that hot is going to be back next year.
Right. And it's been a couple seasons building. Under his tutelage, that team could be unstoppable.
Absolutely. Consider that it was just a few years ago that team set a record for not winning a single game. And here they were 2 games from the Super Bowl. That's quite the rebuild. The Atlanta Falcons have been rebuilding every fucking year for the last 35 years. Made it to 2 Super Bowls, lost them both, but they've been rebuilding for 35 years.
I was going to say perpetually.
Yeah. It's a hamster wheel. Like rebuilding.
Since 96. Like
it's like the Cowboys.
Since that fucking Broncos lost.
Oh, would you like to hear a neat stat? So
yes.
Jalen Hurts and
Fun
Jaden
fact.
Daniels, the opposing quarterbacks for this weekend's NFC Championship game, were both born, lived their lives, went to college, got a degree, became NFL superstars,
And
all since
never
the Cowboys
saw
have
the
won
Atlanta
the championship.
Falcons.
Shut up. Since the Dallas Cowboys, in their own division, have won a Super Bowl. So Cowboys fans, suck on the organ located in the lower abdominal area. You got nothing. You got nothing.
Why do I want to suck on your belly button?
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Who?
No.
Then you stand down right now. Stand down. I felt bad, kind of, for the Rams. There was a team hot as a pistol, a team nobody gave a shot to, and they made it as far as they did, and then the bottom fell out. The Rams did not look like the Rams we saw in December and January leading up to this week.
No, they
No.
did not.
No, they
Did
didn't.
not at all.
No, because they were one of, if not the hottest team, other than Washington, coming down the pike to the end of the season.
Yeah, they look great. They really did.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it was just too much. Far too much. But we have our matchups. It is the Buffalo Bills versus the NFL referees for the AFC Championship.
Oh shit!
And then, and then I heard they already threw a flag on pass interference on the Bills. The game hasn't even started.
Those are like the abortion laws that were on the books. In case it ever happened, like they literally have they already have 14 flags thrown in case they made it there. It's really fucked up.
I do got to give credit in
Like,
that game,
like,
the Kansas City game.
If it was a military thing, there's already been several preemptive strikes.
Right? I do have to give credit to Troy Aikman, who was calling the Kansas City game, and they called roughing the passer, and Troy Aikman goes, "That's not roughing the passer. He exited the pocket. He was then a runner. How is that roughing the passer?"
Right,
Somebody want to explain this to me?
Your fair game. Like, what's going on?
I can envision, as I was listening to a wrestling podcast with John Bradshaw Layfield. If you know him, great. If you don't, whatever. Having Vince McMahon screaming in his ear about something he said, I can picture Fox executives screaming in his ear, "Will you shut up? Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Bro.
You cannot say that about the great Patrick Mahomes."
But I did.
But he did.
That's my job.
I did say that.
It's my job to comment on what I see on the thing. I don't have a lot of love for Troy Aikman, but he deserves all the credit in the world for going, "Come on, man, that was terrible." Right there, live and in living color. Did not give one fuck. And good on him. But yeah,
I would lose my mind if Washington won the Super Bowl. I would be so happy for them.
That's not a big loss. I just so we're clear on everything, sir. Like, that's like losing your car keys is more tragic than you losing your mind. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
It's not a whole bag of marbles. There's one fucking marble in there. It's,
as tough as Philadelphia is, I said this in a text message to two different people separately, because Lynch even said it. Philadelphia's tough. Philadelphia's smoke and mirrors. If Atlanta can beat the Eagles handily, Washington has gone to the mat with the Eagles twice this season, split it. Atlanta beat the Eagles. Washington went to the limit with Atlanta. Not that I'm using Atlanta as your cornerstone, but I'm basing that. I'm like, look, I've watched both these teams, and December and early January has certainly been kinder to Washington.
Yes.
So
that's
once the Lions left, I put it up on the Book of Face. Skins and Bills in the Super Bowl. I'm not yet ready to pick a winner because we're not there yet.
I'm rooting for the Bills. My boy Chris,
Me too,
from Noble, who's still back in Connecticut. I'm trying to get him the fuck out of here, but he's from upstate New York, and he's a big Buffalo Bills fan. And I'm pulling for the Bills. Just I think they got. I think this is their year, and they fucking deserved it. Several of the last years, they've been.
Yeah,
I'm pulling for the Bills this year. Just
I
straight up.
wanted. Yeah, I wanted Bills and Lions so that whoever won gets their first ever Super Bowl victory. Lions are out. I got family that likes the Redskins, and I'm still going to call them the Redskins. I got friends that like Washington. I got, and I do dig the Bills. No matter who makes it, as long as it's not Kansas fucking City, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Bills simply because their fans are fucking insane.
Philadelphia has entered the chat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
True story.
them in Philadelphia.
crazy.
I'm not sure between having to grease fucking poles and diving off of cars to crash fucking buffet tables,
Right?
like Sabu. My nigga says Sabu.
Yes, he did. I was proud of you.
I'm not sure, but them motherfuckers up in upstate New York, they are the most northern Appalachian people. I think is as close as you can get. It is so far north, and they are so far removed from the rest of the East Coast. They just built different up there.
Oh yeah. Saying. Whereas Buffalo is a big city.
Buffalo grows motherfuckers.
Yeah. Whereas Buffalo is a big city. I've been there for hockey games for the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo is a big city, but it still has that redneck Appalachian feel.
Yeah, like you still could get lost out here for 3 days and not know where the fuck you is.
My buddy who went with me to one of the Sabres games, we were driving through the hills and the mountains and whatnot, and then 30 seconds later, you're in the big city. He goes, wow, we go from redneck to 60 in 30 seconds. I'm like, you're damn right we do.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is here. Like, because the state is so large, like, you've got us, and then there's, like, we're here, and then Colorado Springs is here. But on your way there, you get out of town and you leave, and all of a sudden you're driving at night, and all of a sudden it's fucking dark.
You hear banjos and shit.
Because not even just coyotes. And in the distance, in 40 miles away down the highway, you see light. And between you and there, dude, it's completely surreal. You're like, we're in the middle of nowhere.
My man is channeling his inner.
Me, my wife, 4 dogs, a fucking 26-foot box truck, and I haven't seen another fucking car in front of me, behind me, or on the road coming through in 2.5 hours, bro.
Lynch, is he not channeling his inner Forrest Gump? I had no idea where the sky ended and the earth began.
Dude, you didn't. Jen and I drove for 3.5 hours and never saw a street light or a person or a fucking anything that related anything or communicated society, people, anything. Jen was like, I thought when the trip happened, there's this gas station, and I'm like, we're getting off here. And she's like, but I don't have to. I said, we're getting off here. We're going to
Dirty Eds.
Up. Trust me. We gassed up. We're driving. We're driving down this road in the middle of nowhere. Best 2-lane backwoods farm road that's brand newly paved, but nobody is around. We drive for 3 fucking hours. I get a text in the truck. I now understand why you said we had to get gas at that gas station. So I'm like,
the sign comes up.
Yeah. You haven't even seen a fucking light. There isn't a light or a building or civilization for 3 fucking hours, bro.
Next service area, Utah.
Yeah, for real. Like, for real. For real. The other side of the Rockies. What the fuck?
All right. Lynch.
Herm, that road wasn't new. It just hadn't been traveled on in 40 fucking years.
No, that's the road. Right? They built that road in 62.
And it's as pristine as the
Look,
day they
and it's
laid
as
the
black-
asphalt.
It's as black can be right now.
You roll past some cops and they look at each other like, "What's this dumb fuck going up that road? You don't know where he's going."
All right.
Dude,
I'm
and it
getting a
was
piece of
narrow.
paper. I'm going to get a piece of
Paper?
paper. Shut up.
Papel.
Papier, if you will.
Una pluma.
I'm going around the circle. All right. L is for
I have
Lynch.
paper.
H is for Herm. My pen has decided to.
Papier-mâché.
Oh, there we go. L is for Lynch.
Papier mâché.
H is for Herm. B is for me. Lynch,
Yeah.
get the Bills facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend. Who will win and why?
You want my objective feeling about it, or do you want what's actually going to happen?
I saw this coming. I want what you think is going to happen objectively.
All right, I'll tell you both. Objectively,
And as soon as he
fuck Patrick
says
Mahomes.
fuck
Fuck
Patrick.
Patrick.
Okay.
Fuck Patrick Mahomes. Fuck the Kansas City. I want the Bills to win. That is objectively what I would like. The reality is they're going to take all those penalty flags they already threw last week and just they're going to gobble them up in fucking. They're going to gobble them up in fucking penalties, and it's just going to be a long, laborious piece of shit game. And they're going to win by Kansas City's going to win by a 2-point conversion.
So you're
what's
saying
gonna happen.
You're saying Kansas City wins. Your shit's freezing.
If it goes away, I just said yeah.
So in order to make these predictions, I need to know the answer. Who is going to win?
Bills.
Okay. Bills. Herm, Buffalo, KC. Who wins?
The Bills.
The Bills. All right. Well, that's a trifecta because I am also picking Buffalo.
And for no other reason than Allen's going to just pull some gangster shit out of his ass.
That would be the best.
And I'm not big on religion, but I'm big on when it's your time, it's your time. And I think this year, I think it's the Bills' moment this year.
I think the stigma of the old boy, I love losing Super Bowls is over. Like you said, Josh Allen doing some Josh Allen shit. I like a lot of guys on that team. I am going with the Buffalo Bills too, so we have all chosen them as the AFC champion. We're going in reverse order this time. Herm, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington football team, or the Commanders, or the Redskins, or...
I want the Eagles to win just because putting Buffalo
you want Philly,
Eagles
all right,
fans in the same stadium on the same chunk of land for 10 hours is going to be something. And the Philly riot is going to be amazing regardless of win or lose.
Leave Pat's King of Steaks alone.
I'm just saying, just don't leave. No, fuck that. You go around the corner to Steve's
Geno's.
Fuck
right,
Geno's
no.
too. Pat's.
Geno's, no, fuck both of those. Geno's and Pat's are for fucking tourists. Everybody knows that.
What do we look
Steve's
like?
fucking-
We're tourists. We're in Philadelphia. We don't live there.
Yeah, but we're not tourists. You know,
Whatever.
that's for tourists.
Go to
That's for
Steve's.
Go to Steve's.
All right.
Fuck the Steak Kings.
All right. Lynch, Philadelphia, Washington. Who do you got?
I really would like Washington, but I think Philly's going to win that game.
All right. We are not a trifecta.
I think this is going to be no. So you say no? You say Washington?
I say Washington. I say they're too hot. They have too much momentum, and they know how to beat Philly. They've done so already. Philly also knows how to beat Washington. One game was close. The other was not so close. It's a toss-up, but, you give me one side of the coin or the other, I'm going with Washington.
You could be right. I mean, like I said, I told you over the weekend, they're a dangerous fucking team.
Sure.
But I don't know. I can't say that Saquon Barkley's not going to have the game of his fucking career, and he's already had 3 of those this season. So,
I wonder.
I mean,
and I want you, Lynch, to put yourself in these shoes. I want you to put yourself in these shoes. You are the
who wrote
GM.
the book of love?
Somebody got it.
You are the. I got it. I was just, I like to hear you guys sing. Yes. Put yourself in the shoes of the GM of the New York Giants and not renewing the contract of Saquon Barkley because you thought he didn't have the sauce anymore. What are you saying to yourself this weekend?
Where's the nearest closet and some rope?
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna pull it. This weekend, come to my Swing and Ray Combs party.
There you go. My guest is Robin Williams.
Motherfucker!
The national anthem will be sung by Chris Cornell.
Special appearance by David Carradine.
Yeah. And what's his nuts? Chester Bennington throws out the first pitch. Lynch is gonna punch us. Michael Hutchins too.
That's all right. He's got to drive 2,000 fucking miles to do it. So I'll wait, bitch.
Look at the signpost at the top left of this screen. Where are we? We're in Dysfunction Junction. We got to make jokes like this.
Saquon Barkley is a prime example of lack of leadership and lack of direction because that kid was hungry to play when he was with the Giants. He played every play like it was his last play ever, and that's just how he plays football. Given the proper coaching and the proper motivation under the Philadelphia Eagles team, he's fucking exploded. I mean, the New York Giants for the last 10 fucking years has been one of the most mismanaged and miscoached football teams on the planet. They make asinine moves, just like letting Saquon Barkley go. Stupid coaching decisions. They just can't coach themselves. They're their own worst enemy. So
it's a true story.
If I were the GM, I'd be looking for another job.
Okay. I can't not get behind that.
Good players in any professional being a professional player in any organized professional sport, it comes from the top, from the GM. His attitude and the way he treats his players, it makes a huge difference and impact on how the players perform.
Oh yeah,
look at the Steinbrenner era for the New York Yankees. Look at the Belichick era for the Patriots. And Belichick and Brady just is a key example of people that have great chemistry, good coaching, and Tom Brady is a hell of a motivator.
I got 2 words for you. Let me turn this koozie towards you. Red Auerbach.
Exactly. You're using my next example before I could even get there.
Well, you took mine first, but it's okay.
I mean, how many head coaches has the New York Football Giants gone through in the last 20 years?
Oh, I'm sure I could find that information.
Parcells left.
Yes,
no,
because
that's my point. Parcells left.
Since fucking Parcells left.
Wrong, because they won 2 championships in the last 20 years under whatever coach, and then they shoved him out of town. They had chemistry under whoever he was. Mike Coughlin? No. Give me a second.
Yeah. No, was it?
But they also had Eli Manning and David Tyree and Victor Cruz.
Last name.
I'm going to find out right now. You keep talking. If I could spell New York,
I just don't have I don't have a lot of respect for the New York Giants. That's all.
I rather like the Giants. I'm not going to lie.
Eli Manning was such an unremarkable quarterback in his career there. like performance wise.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go back and say, "Oh my God, you remember that Eli Manning play from that game against so and so?"
Yeah, but who did
You
Flutie
don't.
play for?
The Patriots and the Jets.
All right.
The Jets.
And the Bears, too. He was
Yeah.
on the
I
Bears,
was
too.
going to say, that wasn't there a third team?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
The
Was
answer
he
to
like,
that
was like 2 seasons.
Yeah. The answer to your question, I was half right. It is a Coughlin, but it was Tom Coughlin that was the coach for 12 years for the Giants, and they shipped him out like yesterday's trash. And he won 2 Super Bowls with the team, both with Eli Manning, both against the Patriots. That's the kryptonite for Tom Brady is the New York Football Giants.
Not the New York Baseball
All right.
Giants.
No, not at all. Because they moved to San
Well,
Francisco, dem
Right. I was
bones.
going to say because they're the San Francisco Giants.
That's right. Dodgers ain't been shit since they left Brooklyn.
I was just going to say it. Fuck the Dodgers.
Dodgers ain't been shit since they left Brooklyn.
God bless
I
you.
still hear people say that.
I say it. Jen and I will get into a heated fucking argument upstairs. Fuck the Dodgers.
Okay,
Fuck 'em.
off topic. Young lady that I work with, or I should say works at our establishment there, 19 years old, very nice girl, and she tells me she's a movie buff. I'm like, okay, whatever. Every now and again I throw a line out there.
Sure you
And-
are.
But when I throw the line out, she gets it. And one day she is telling me about what happened on my day off, and this person screwed up, and but this person who screwed up was telling why I did the right thing, and they didn't. And I looked dead at her. I was like, "I can do things, Mikey. I'm smart." She goes, "All right, Fredo." And I was like, "Ah!" She got it. She knew. She's like, Godfather 2. He was in the boathouse. I'm like, if you were just 10 to 20 years older and not gay, I'd be all up in your business.
I will lose my shit if you bring up the Dodgers in my house. I'm just saying,
You're not even a fucking Dodger
I'm
fan.
not, but you know what? No, you're right. But I comprehend fucking loyalty. All right? I get it. Fuck the Dodgers. You left the East Coast. You went out there. Fuck you. All right?
I mean, for what it's worth,
You chose to because there was nothing other than, all right? I came out here because I was not forced, but there was also a lot of responsibility that needed to happen. All right? I am still East Coast at heart, and I live my life by East Coast credo, and I am way too much for these motherfuckers out here. I'm not going to lie.
as a lifelong hockey fan,
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit.
Right? As a lifelong hockey fan, that team that plays out of Dallas will always be the North Stars.
Right.
They will never be the Dallas Stars. They will always be the North Stars.
They're always the North Stars. That's the Dallas team.
When Winnipeg moved to Phoenix and became the Coyotes, my friends and I called them Phenipeg. Because
Oh my God.
we weren't ready to give up Winnipeg, and then they brought the Winnipeg Jets back, and it was like, all right, cool,
That's-
kind of like the Browns.
Yeah.
When the Browns came back, I could call the Ravens the Ravens.
Right.
And Herm and I are the kind of assholes. I
Baltimore
think
Browns.
Lynch might be too. When Baltimore won the Super Bowl a number of years ago with Ray Lewis and all those guys, I texted my family out in Cleveland. I'm like, congratulations, Cleveland finally won the Super Bowl. Fuck you.
Fucked up.
Fuck
Your
you.
father-
Fuck
I was
you.
gonna say, I would have sent that if I'd have thought about it. I would have sent that directly. Check that shit out, Pop. A fucking team from Cleveland finally won the fucking Super Bowl. That's fucking beautiful.
I called
Hey,
the next day.
Hey, the team finally won the Super Bowl, Pop.
The conversation went something like this. Well, you should be thrilled right now. Why? I
What,
just watched the
'cause
Super
you
Bowl
know,
last night. Cleveland won.
Didn't Cleveland win the Super Bowl? Fuck you.
So
Oh, the Cleveland Browns. I feel so bad for them.
Yo, come on now. Some of us remember the Houston Oilers.
yeah,
I
who
do.
are now the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
I didn't even have to be on a plane and on a desert island with a volleyball to remember that.
Right?
You mean Tennessee has a football
was the
team now?
Tennessee has a
Who's the most famous Oiler?
Earl Campbell, easily, or Warren Moon.
Yeah,
I was going to say Warren.
yeah.
For me, it's
I would say
Warren
Earl
Moon.
Campbell.
For me, it's Warren Moon.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah,
I mean, that
Warren,
I had an affinity for
Warren was an exceptional
Southern
player. He
football
was an
teams.
exceptional human
really. I
When I
mean,
was a
then
little
again,
kid- when I was a little kid, I loved the Houston Astros, the Oilers, and the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals.
You were allowed options.
Yes.
yeah.
But then the older I got, and then the older I got, and the more I learned about my lineage to the Red Sox, of course, became more of a Red Sox fan.
A homosexual.
No. My dad's uncle.
But in my house, there was only one option for football. I mean, well, there was another option. I mean, you could like a different team. You just couldn't live.
You just didn't say it out loud.
Well, you just couldn't live at that house. You know, if you want to go live with somebody else, you can like any fucking football team you want. But if you live in this fucking, and I know Chris can hear my father saying it, but if you live in this house, you'll root for the Broncos.
My dad didn't have. My dad. I'm glad we're talking about this. It's very cathartic. My dad didn't have such a rule. My dad didn't have such a rule because he knew I went my grandfather's way, but I did have a conversation.
You kept it in the family, and the only other option was my grandmother who liked the fucking Raiders. And
Right. Professional football, we didn't have that, but baseball we did.
Enemy.
We didn't have that in NFL. We had that in MLB, which, of course, Granddad's way was the complete polar opposite of Dad being a Red Sox fan. When Emma started to grow, and she likes sports a little bit, and, well, what if I want to pick my own team, she said. I said, okay, you can pick any team you want. What sport are we talking about? I said, well, she says, well, I'm always going to be a Yankee fan. I'm like, okay, raised right. That's good. But in football, what if I wanted to pick a different team? You have 31. You have 30 choices. She was 30. I'm like, yeah, you cannot pick the Saints
Or the Cowboys.
and. Well, no, her mother's a Cowboys fan. I just said don't pick a team because of what I like or what Mom likes. So you basically have 31 choices. You know, you want to pick the Falcons, pick the Falcons. You want to pick the Giants, you just don't pick the Saints. The last thing I want to do is have to beat my daughter on a regular basis. And she can't be anything other than a Bruins fan because, well, she just loves the Bruins.
That's why my wife's name isn't on the house, is because she's a fucking Saints fan. That's the real stuff.
Good. You notice I didn't fuck with. You notice I didn't fuck with her at all this season. At all.
That's really. She's like, she's very mad about it, and she doesn't like the fact that and all truth be told, it's not anything I orchestrated. It's just the way it went down when the lawyer put the paperwork through, and I was the thing and the person and the sole heir and blah 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 blah. And she never asked. She just put the paperwork through and did it, and boom, the house is mine.
Okay, that leads me to a good question after Lynch.
But as far as my
that's
wife
good.
is concerned, she's not on the fucking house because she's a Saints fan. There it
That's
is.
the way it is. You, ma'am, may fuck off.
I'm probably gonna see her. She's probably gonna pop up here.
No, she's gonna blame me because she heard Saints and knows that I started it.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell her that Chris was talking about the Saints and then I spoke. So you are culpable, but this will still be my fucking fault. It's all right.
Herm will get 5 years. I'll get 25 to life.
I was just gonna say. I will get the white guy sentence. You're gonna get Oh, my wife is now mooning me from the kitchen. That's lovely. From the steps. Love
Lynch.
you, baby. But yeah,
Lynch, were there sports party lines in your family?
Like, rules? Did you have rules in your house?
No, because my dad was not a huge fan of professional sports.
Okay.
The only game he used to follow, he told me, was as a kid, was baseball, and that was and basketball. He was a Celtics fan. He liked Boston basketball. The connection to baseball was the Red Sox because his uncle was the coach for the Red Sox in the 50s.
No shit.
And he was also a player for a couple of teams. Yeah, Lou Boudreau.
Shit. Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so once I learned that connection, I became an instant Red Sox fan, like 9 years old.
You know,
Everything Red Sox.
Cleveland retired his
Card.
number.
Yes. Yeah.
Motherfucker! Wow.
I had the opportunity to meet him at a baseball card show. A few years before he died.
That's
very
fantastic.
nice guy. Very nice guy. Yeah,
That
you
is
could definitely
awesome.
tell. I was related to him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's my connection to the Red Sox. But my parents didn't care. My mom, I don't even think she knows what football is. And my dad could give a care less. He's like, why would I watch a bunch of 400-pound assholes banging up on each other?
Because
If I
it's
wanna see
fucking fun.
I could go down to Navy Housing and watch those fucking buffaloes fucking naked rubbing all over each other.
Right? Go down to the Del Mar on any given night. Somebody's getting in a fight. What are you looking at, Herm?
Do you guys think I'm
He's-
thin enough to shave my fucking goatee off and not have a double chin?
No, I think the goatee is much like somebody asked me, because you can see I trimmed up the chin biscuit. I can't go just mustache.
Thin enough to just go baby faced.
I mean, you could, but you would look like a butthole
I
with
w-
eyes.
I won't recognize you.
Yeah, I've seen him
Nobody
clean
will.
face.
That's
If I don't-
the thing. I haven't.
If
had
I don't
this,
see this,
this has been my look since how do I put this delicately in case people say
1998.
no. When Terry and I officially split up the final time. That's it. Stuff. Yeah, that's it. So like Trav was 6 months old, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that sounds
So
about right.
I've had this look for 25 plus years.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
You should shave.
I'm looking at myself and I'm wondering if
You should shave everything but the dark part of your mustache.
just the dark part. So just leave the Hitler mustache
And
and use a little Grecian formula to darken in some of the lighter stuff. Because
it's not really Hitler.
You know I'll fuck around with that. I will go to work like that shit. Fucking white, bald Hitler mustache. Woo!
No.
I can't.
Sorry.
What I was going to say, my suggestion would be if you
And
wanted to do that.
I don't.
What are you going to say? What do you keep saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. Typical response.
Maybe I should like reverse Superstar Billy Graham it and just do.
I was just going to say Superstar Billy Graham.
I always wanted Superstar Billy Graham it and to put 2 dark stripes down it.
Ooh, sharp.
Because I'm starting to get a legitimate fucking chest now, like legitimate chest. Like I'm starting to get cut in places that I haven't been cut since I put on like 40 pounds of muscle to get cut and start having any definition at all. It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. I'm seeing my body in a way that I've never seen it before.
My suggestion would be, I mean, you got the Bill Goldberg thing going on right now. Just take off the lip and leave the chin biscuit and start there. You got it. You got to ease into it. You can't just go and look like a butthole with eyes.
Like dumb shit that I'm noticing. Like this is actually the bone of my shoulder.
You haven't seen that since the 3rd grade.
No, but these are my actual shoulder muscles right there. This is the bone. Like, I'm getting
I have a bone there.
I'm getting.
I'll be right back.
I'm starting to get a V in my shape that I've never seen before. Like my shoulders being wider than my shoulders being wider than my waist and gut is kind of a very new thing to me.
You're not quite built like a sausage anymore. You're kind of more like a cheese wedge.
Very distinctive. If you cling everything, there's a very distinctive. It's not super cut yet, but you can see I have where my abs are. You can see where my ribs stop, and then the abs go underneath. You can see where the abs cave in on the side, and there's the more pronounced center portion. It's not cut, but you could like. I've never seen myself that way before. Like my body's never looked that way. Like if I put on a fucking fashion shirt right now, I'd look like a fucking 2X model.
Yeah, you actually have a definition in shape other than round.
Yeah,
that's
like
by no means a dig. That's just the truth.
52 inches and my waist is 38. How do you not see that now?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
You're not proportioned now. You're
the biggest
less of a
question-
sausage, more of a cheese.
Right.
Oh my
It's
God.
actually proportioned that way now. Like to like it's very weird, and clothes look very weird.
What?
It feels great, and I think I look good, but like
That's what I said, Burns, is that he's less like a sausage and more like a cheese wedge.
I heard that. It sounded. I didn't expect to have that be the first thing I heard when I put these back on.
I mean, it's not a knock on Herm. He's doing it really well. I mean, but
no,
it's
just
an
weird
interesting
shit.
perspective.
Yeah.
Like it's just seeing things completely different than. Like,
All right,
my
so now that
students are really starting to come back, and like today they were like, I went and got new shirts today. I've been wearing the same. Well, they're 4X, but they came in after I started losing weight, so they were a little tight. But I was a 5X when in August started. So
okay, I have to.
Go ahead.
I have to
Go ahead.
ask.
Go ahead.
Do you still suffer from Dicky Doo?
No. No. There's this. Look, we're gonna get a little explicit. There's this really cool weight loss thing for men. It's known. Depending on your build and where your fat deposits are, every 10 to 20 pounds, as the fat recedes from around your body, and especially the lower area where it might be puffy. So basically,
I'm gonna die.
I understand, but every 10 to 20 pounds, as the fat around that area reduces, you get a visible extension of a peered length. So
Visible
every 10 to
extension.
20 pounds. Okay, so basically,
what in the?
Listen, I don't know.
I
don't know. I'm Mexican and I'm not offended.
I didn't know what it was.
I'm just saying, I like your sombrero, rock it. But basically, the rule is every 10 to 20 pounds of weight that you lose when you're fat is a visible inch of dick when it's erect. So, yes. And yes, I can literally look down and see my crotch. It's a very cool fucking thing. It's like I can look down and hey, that's my dick. Yeah,
I can see what you look like for the first time.
I can not only see the tips of my shoes.
God, you're ugly.
Yeah, I can not only see the tips of my shoes. I can look down and see my ankles.
Lynch,
Yeah.
this is an actual conversation in Herm's bathroom. Goddamn, who cut your hair? You look like shit.
You look like shit.
I didn't know you were so bulbous.
How come you're not tan like the rest of me? Where have you been all my life?
Jesus.
Where'd you come from?
Get your ears lowered? What happened?
All right, I got two quick hits, and I wanted to save them for the end of the show.
The trials and tribulations and new discovery of the weight loss journey.
It's a beautiful thing.
Look, my dick is fucking huge.
The title of
Who
tonight's
are
show
you and why
was,
are you in my pants?
The title of tonight's show was We Had an Inauguration.
An inauguration.
That's the second quick hit. I got to ask you guys the first quick hit. Are you up to date with the Devil Dwarf and the trials and tribulations of her 75 families?
Yes, I've seen all of it.
No.
Okay, so have I. Lynch, have you watched all the Natalia Gray stuff?
I
And
need to catch up.
Yes, you finally watched number 3. So yeah, so you realize that it actually ends on a decent note.
On top of that,
yes, you saw 1 and 2, and I saw 1 and 2, and I was like, "This is just."
Now, to Lynch's point,
I was like, they're just fucking with us now.
Right. To Lynch's point, which piggybacked my point from when we watched 1 and 2, all of us together, and then commented on it. She did come off as everywhere she goes, it's a problem. She's the common denominator. And much like, I'm sure we all know men and women like this. They're the common denominator, but they're never the problem. No, we're never the problem.
Well, that's the thing is I think I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think that
After finishing, you're right.
I don't think that was the case at all. I think the case truly was she was really fucked up, and everybody else had some sort of. They had an angle, to put it in wrestling. Everybody had an angle, and all she was ever used to was everybody had an angle, and we know this
turmoil and drama
right from the very beginning because she was difficult, and it was I think literally all of the difficulty and the issues really it happened where she went because honestly she was just trying to be herself and everybody else had a fucking agenda, so the agenda fucks up. Or her just trying to be a person fucks up their agenda, and now she's difficult.
1,000%.
I can actually see that. I can actually see that angle because she was a unique child to raise, and I think a lot of her like personality is. People see her as so strange is because she may have had a hard time expressing herself.
Right.
Yes, she mentions that. She mentioned that as well.
Whatever she was in, and she admitted that. Like that totally explains everything. Basically, I'm just fucking chameleoning to fit in, and I get it. But
right.
The truth remains that it wasn't. She went through all of the bullshit she went through, and it wasn't until she got with a family that was actually suffering. Both adult members of the family and the daughter were all suffering and dealing in reality with everything she was dealing with physically. Nobody else really know how to deal with her physically, and that issue right there alone, on top of everybody having an agenda. It wasn't until she got with the little family at the end that really, look, we don't care. We just want her to be happy and healthy. We don't care how much money she has. What's up? We want her money to be hers. We want everything to be correct and right and true, and let her do her own thing. And once they finally went through all of the bullshit to get to that, we discover in the third chapter of this. Well, we discover in the third episode of the third chapter. That's really how it works out. Once she got rid of everybody and truly let go and opened up with a family that truly was designed for her and understood her, and she was able to be herself and take care of herself, it's a completely different situation.
Correct. And the one thing that I took away from those 4 episodes of season 3, and I was watching with Terry. One thing is, and Herm knows this from wrestling years ago. I'm not allowed to say somebody's name because they will show up and fuck things up. We're watching one of the episodes, and I said, I really hope in these 4 episodes we don't see Mike Bennett. And who showed up? Michael fucking Bennett.
Right.
But then, as it went forward, you could see her kind of seeing the light as, the Manses were not where she needed to be, regardless of the adoption, regardless of the decade they put into her.
No,
they were
to see exactly how when we started to hear them on the phone, and they got super defensive, but had no answers. Basically, they were using her for the money. They'd made somebody basically like given. It's like Rocky gave the fucking lawyer a power of attorney, and
they gave Paulie power. Paulie gave the lawyer power of
what I mean. I'm just saying in that movie Rocky, the power of attorney, and fucked him. Basically, that's the same shit. And the whatever the I don't remember their name, and I am sorry. I apologize to this family. I don't. They're just the little family is what I've referred to them as.
the DePaul family.
Thank you, DePaul. was truly the first family that understood all of her physical needs, as well as actually delved and actually did anything to try to to repair her emotional needs. Nobody else even sent her, even had her talk to a therapist. Nobody did anything else for her physical issues to solve them. Everything else was about a power move or it looking good, or it really turns out it's a really fucked up, horrible story.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl got fucked over, but it took us 3 fucking chapters to figure it the fuck out.
The beauty of that whole thing, one is,
Well,
obviously,
I think I said after the second one, I said, I'm freezing up. Hang on a second.
okay.
I don't know if it's me or if it's you guys. I don't know what the fuck's
No,
going
it's
on.
you. I'm watching
But
you.
after the second one, I kind of said that there's going to be a somewhat happy ending to this.
You did. The beauty shot.
As we approach this end of the second thing, it really wasn't a completely closed story. And then then they pull in after the credits thing with the issue that the Manses are having.
Yes.
So see, my nigga just dropped out. But
That's all right.
We'll be back in a minute.
Now I got to ask you a question because when Terry and I watch this and they do the drone shot down the driveway of the family, now it's happily ever after. She's finally come to grips with things. She's got her People magazine shoot, which I have the copy of that upstairs. I've yet to read the article. They're doing the drone shot. Now, am I the only one other than myself and Terry and some of you out there who thought there's the mayor of the Munchkin City in the Lullaby League? I was waiting for him to take out the paper. As coroner, I do avert.
The lollipop yield.
And she's not only merely dead, she's really, oh, sincerely dead.
Jesus Christ. We are going to hell.
Oh.
Yeah, but the best part is we're the entertainment.
We're all
That's
going to
the
be
beautiful
there.
thing.
So it's
I got a phone call. It's hell.
Yeah. Are we in trouble?
I think so.
Brad Williams called. He wants us to book him on the show.
For real.
Lynch, I don't know what it is, man. You're freezing up like nobody's business.
All right. So we did have an inauguration.
Thank you.
We had an inauguration.
Yes. I'm curious on you guys' thoughts.
Did anybody listen to the babble of the second speech?
No, I didn't hear the second speech. Yes, I only here's okay. Give me a second. Give me a second before you do that.
Find the footage for that.
I will, because that's in the arena, right?
Yeah, like in the Capitol building, wherever it was.
No, in the Capitol building, I saw the swearing in of Vice President Vance, President Trump. I saw Carrie Underwood sing, and I saw Trump's what they called the inaugural speech. And comparing, I've watched every presidential inauguration. The first one I saw, but I don't remember, is 1980, Ronald Reagan. From where I can start remembering is 84, when he absolutely trounced Mondale. I've watched every inauguration, and the one thing that I go in looking for is, how's the future going to look? What are we looking at? And Trump did not disappoint. His first inauguration speech in 2017 was a lot of hellfire and brimstone, and I'm going to drain the swamp, and I'm going to do this, and it didn't leave you with a good feeling. This one left me 50-50, and I'll explain why. He took the first 5 to 10 minutes, and he really built the narrative of, I'm looking at new things. I want to build the economy back to where it was, when I was in office, which was a good economy. I want to do this. I want to drill. I want to be dependent on foreign oil. I want to do this. I want to do this. And the whole time I'm watching this, I said, I'm waiting for him to fuck up. And he did. Right after he mentioned, oh no, he did not disappoint. He fucked up.
You knew it was coming, and that's the whole.
Of course, it was just when.
You just was like, this is going really.
He goes into the Panama Canal. We built the Panama Canal and we turned it over to the Panamanians and they turned it over to China and we're going to try to, work it out. So, because we built the Panama Canal to help shipping. I'm like, okay, good. Don't fuck this up. And Mount McKinley, we are going to put in the order to rename Mount McKinley to Mount McKinley. And I'm like, okay, good. You're doing so good. Just please don't fuck this up. I'm not a huge DJT guy, but this was better than his first one. And then he fucked it up.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure what the Mount McKinley thing. I'm not sure why everybody with the. I like Denali. I like it.
I loved it. I thought it was great. And then he fucked it up. It's one thing to say to an interviewer or to, privately, but when you say it at an inauguration when 80+ million people are watching,
the entire nation
and the world largely, because you had foreign dignitaries there, and then we are going to make the push to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and then he started in, and as soon as he said Gulf of America, it all went to shit. He
started going for the what I call the T-shirt gun hurrahs.
Bingo.
And he's just going to start throwing out shit that every fucking crazy super far right person is like, yeah. My issue is that he's got all these things. Do you guys know the Russia connection with the 3 things he's got on the books for the Panama Canal, Greenland, and Canada?
No, I've not heard this.
All right. So, when Donnie fucked up, do you know who loaned and he fucked up all those businesses back in the late 80s, early 90s? Russia is where the money came from for him.
No shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He wants Canada as a 51st state because Canada holds exorbitant mineral and oil rights, and also the maritime routes to those sites. Putin wants them. The issue with the Panama Canal is that you can verify these, but this is what I'm calling it as. This is my opinion.
Sure.
The Panama Canal, the problem isn't really the tariffs that we pay to go through there. Check what the percentage and the tariffs are that are applied to Russia to go through the Panama Canal, or anything going through, in or out of Russia. Check what the tariffs are on that. Panama Canal doesn't do anything for us. It does a lot for Vlad. Greenland. Greenland is a strategic point that he wants. It puts him in a position of power. It also puts him in. It also circumvents the issue with the Ukraine trying to be a member of NATO. It puts him in a location that he owns outside of the realm of NATO, within reach of anything he wants within anywhere. Not just us, but also everything with Europe and Asia. It puts him in the most strategic point. My problem isn't that I'm not saying this is possible. My issue is that there's a severe, knowing how Donald feels about the Russian dictator, there's a very inherent connection that I don't like with a lot of these moves. The Gulf of Mexico, that's just dumb. It's never going to happen.
It's silly, and that's where he fucked it up. Don't be silly. Don't be stupid. And he did exactly what I thought he would do. He went stupid.
Silly too, but there's nothing for the Gulf of Mexico or America renaming it that I can actually go through and cross-reference to something that would do anything for Russia. But every other thing that's on that list, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but there is a Russian connection, and I don't trust him with other dictators. I got to be honest. I know how we all have seen how he feels about dictators and how he kind of likes their thing. I'm not big on that, and
I'm not either. One of the things I liked about
but I don't like that all 3 of those locations have a very specific traceable connection that would benefit Russia with his known Vladimir. Mr. Putin's a great guy. I love him. He's awesome.
Oh, you can be two things at once. You could be a great guy to, I could sit in a room with Herm and he'll treat me like gold, but then he goes out and murders 8 people.
Right.
Dennis Rader did the same thing at his church every single week, and then he went and killed and tortured people.
Right.
Two things can be true at once.
But I'm also not going to be, after I know all the things that you've done, been like, yeah, he's a great guy. No, I deal with him on a business level, and that, you know what I mean? You and I would all be like, oh, absolutely. There's a business level that I have to deal with him on, and that's about where that relationship is.
Yeah.
What sounds very much fanboyish behavior and what we hear from him on Korea and Russia and some of those dictatorish leaders, not exactly what I want my president to say. Is, I don't want him to think they're the most awesome dude on the planet. Unfortunately, right. They're an evil I have to deal with in my job.
Correct. Lynch, what did you take away from yesterday and the inauguration? And furthermore, I got to hear some of the speeches at the arena before I had to go to work, and Herm, thank you. I will go back and watch his speech. I heard Vance put a fantastic speech out there. I'm looking forward to that. But Trump in general, because you just said he kind of blew up the water.
The second speech, like you're literally listening to him talk, and it's just, I'm like, baby,
get the hook.
No, I was like, am I wrong? Or is he just kind of fucking rambling like a madman right now? Like, I have no cohesion. She's like, no, I don't even know what the fuck this is.
All right, Lynch, what'd you take away?
I saw the inauguration. I saw a little bit of all the speeches. You'll note my title tonight. It's been 36 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The world has not ended.
Nope.
Fire and brimstone are not descending from the heavens.
Nope.
Some of his executive orders that he immediately signed and put into action.
I've got an issue with a couple of those.
So do I.
I think the pardon to the January 6th crew, whatever. No, you shouldn't have done that. That's my personal
I'm
opinion.
50-50 on that. I'm 50-50 on that.
And some of them shouldn't. He just kind of blanketed that, and
bingo.
I felt he should have been a man and stood up and say, no, some of these need to stay, and we can let some of them go or commute.
Mm-hmm. Not a blanket pardon.
I felt the blanket was just easy. I felt it was done more out of he did it for his fans rather than actually.
It was spiteful.
He did it out of spite.
I don't feel he put enough thought into it. Look,
well,
I want to pardon some of these people, but we need to go
for
exactly what everybody did.
For every person who may have been,
Lynch, please.
For every person who may have been thrown in jail for a kind of an iffy reason, for every one person like that, you're letting out 2 Proud Boys,
right,
who are a fucking terrorist organization as far as I'm concerned,
right.
And he didn't do his homework. Had he gone the pardon where it's like I need to look at all these cases, I would have been happy with that, because he would have left a lot of dangerous people in prison where they should be, rightfully. I'm sorry.
No,
it was spiteful. It was
a broad brush.
Right, and I'm going to say this. It was spiteful for one reason as I pack my face. Days before, Biden pardons his entire family. He pardons Dr. Fauci. He pardons Mark Miley and one other person. Oh, and the January 6th committee. So you can never investigate them. Now, if you know Article 2, Section 2 of the pardon laws, you don't pardon the innocent. So, and somebody's going to say the preemptive pardon.
What did Fauci get arrested for?
Well, no,
nothing.
I can understand.
What did the January 6th committee get arrested for?
Nothing.
Nobody, guys.
They weren't investigated either, and that's where the
No,
preemptive pardon thing
but
comes up.
you've
Herm's
got-
about to say.
Guys, you've got a man who's coming into office who has specifically said he is going to be spiteful. He's not going to just do his job. He's going to deliberately be spiteful.
Mhm.
He's not only said it within the first 24 hours of his administration. Shit. Within the first 4 hours of his administration.
There you
we
go.
saw it. Okay.
Here.
You've got
Please finish
somebody
your
who
point. I'm
clearly
sorry.
stated that they are going after anybody they can just because I can. I can totally see where Joe is, and I'm not a Joe supporter by any means, any way, shape, or form. But I can see where somebody who said already, look, I'm going after these fuckers, and I have every department on my side, and I've written the executive orders that give me the power to do what I want to do, to just literally fuck with these people. Look, I'm a father. If somebody tells me, bro, I'm coming after your kids with everything I fucking got, I'm putting a bullet in you before you come after my kid. There
Understood.
it is. You know what I mean? So I am making sure whatever is safe, regardless of whether they did or didn't do anything, I'm making sure that everybody is secure. So I can understand where that was. I'm not saying it was the best decision, but I can understanding somebody standing up to defend his own.
According to,
Not just-
and
not-
I'm
not just
I'm not
for the
saying
sake
you're
of
wrong.
life. Not just
I'm
for
not
the
saying
sake
you're
of
wrong.
life. That's all.
I'm with both of you. There are certain people of those 1,500 people. Remember, that rally was 10,000, 20,000 strong. 1,500 people were idiots that day. We are all in agreement. Several of them were even more egregious idiots, destroying public
We're right.
property,
They're-
attacking police
we're
officers.
Extreme idiots and not just
Correct.
stupid.
Correct. Blanket pardoning all of them was stupid. However, according to Section 2, Article 2, or Article 2, Section 2, my bad, the acceptance of a pardon is basically an admission of guilt. You are being investigated. The preemptive pardon with Nixon in the Gerald Ford pardon was he was being investigated for the Watergate scandal. And he was likely to be rung up on charges. President Ford said it would set a bad precedent to investigate and prosecute a current or former president of the United States. This is wrong. I'm pardoning him. Full stop.
Right, which
But-
in that case, you may or may but legally at that point, he may or may not have done something wrong because we didn't have a determination. So it's
The investigation was pretty clear that Nixon was the trigger
I'm
man.
aware of that, sir, but you and I both know that they can investigate anything they want from me, but until my charges are actually go through, it's not on my record and I didn't get in trouble for it. That's
I'm
the
not
beauty.
saying
So technically, that pardon that they never actually found him guilty by under the law with a court decision is the same pardon that Joe gave his family.
I'm not worried about the Hunter Biden pardon.
I'm not saying that Nixon wasn't wrong, by the way. Just
the
so we're
only
clear.
thing,
He was
right?
fucking wrong as fuck.
The only thing I had a problem with the Hunter Biden pardon was the fact that he came out on nationwide television and said, "No, I believe in the rule of law." 4 months later, he changes his mind. No big deal. Like Herm said, as a parent, you protect your child. I don't understand why his whole family needed it. Dr. Fauci, whether he made mistakes, he didn't break the law. Mark Miley,
No,
whether
they
or not he
didn't.
made mistakes,
I
they
truly
didn't.
believe He's worried about them going after them just because they can go after them and spitefully.
And that would be up to the Supreme Court to decide. And we know that there's a 5-4 majority to the right on the Supreme Court. But your job as a judge, and any judge will tell you, and any lawyer will tell you who's worth their salt, is you have to take the facts, not the opinions, not anything else. It's all about the facts, what you present. You put up a good enough case, and if you're innocent, I'm not going to say all the cases are good because we've all seen innocent people go to jail for bullshit. Nelson, okay, let's stop. Full stop right now. Anybody who wants to play the convicted felon role, Nelson Mandela was a convicted felon. Bishop Desmond Tutu was a convicted felon. And Herm brought up, and whether or not he was being sarcastic or being genuine, and my heart says he was genuine, Jesus was a convicted felon.
Jesus was a felon.
Let's stop the cackling hens of the View, the far left.
That do that, absolutely.
Bingo.
That's your thing.
Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday was yesterday, was rung up on charges, whether they were real or imagined, and charged with a felony. And we celebrate him every year, federally, except in Arizona where they're all racist cocksuckers. Can we stop with the convicted felon bullshit? How much time did Donald Trump serve? Did he do any community service? What was the fine that he paid? What was the actual sentence on that? Oh, wait, there was none. I'm no DJT fan. You guys know this. Anybody who's watched the show for 35 seconds knows this. But can we stop with the convicted felon bullshit?
But is that your requirement?
For what?
Is that
everybody else got a sentence and punishment up through and including death in Jesus's case?
yeah, but
yeah,
you're correct.
I'm not. Look.
Correct.
No. My point.
He actually did it though.
Absolutely not. I think he did. That's not the point.
So
but when people,
but
when
the
people
bank looks at numbers on paper, but those numbers are only numbers on paper. That's not actually the
But when people want to point to the convicted felon thing and say, fuck Donald Trump, but over here they say, oh, Bishop Tutu, he's amazing. Or Mandela, he's great.
I don't care about the convicted felon thing. I just think he's a complete piece of shit.
I think he's an egomaniac. And I'm gonna throw the floor to Lynch in a second. I think DJT is an egomaniac. I think as much as I do believe he loves this country, I think he believes that
he thinks he does. I think
no.
But I think he loves
hear me
himself
out.
More.
That's where I was going. He may love this country, but he loves. That's what I was going to say. He loves Donald J. Trump more.
DJT will not sacrifice anything unless it benefits. A sacrifice on his end is more of a concession for something better. That's literally. Here's
my thing.
Trump does not put the fucking cart back at the grocery store.
Wow. And that, to me, that makes a good person. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's literally my sociological litmus test. Do you put the grocery cart back?
I'm going to get you.
I fucking hate it. But you know
I don't care. I don't care where you put this sticker. I'm getting you the Matt Walsh sticker that says, put the effing carts back.
Put the effing cart back, bro.
That's his thing.
And I literally feel that is the sociological litmus test for society. You either put the cart back or you're a piece of shit. The only time I'm okay with you not putting the cart back is the day I go to return the empties. I park in a spot where somebody's left the buggy behind so I can put my empties in it and then go through the parking lot. That's it. Like, look, if I go to the store, I get a cart, I bring it out, somebody puts it back. Me, Jen, somebody put it back. I feel that's literally
put it in the corral.
I feel Trump unloads his groceries, pushes it to the front of his car in between the two carts, gets in, pops
it on the bumper there.
Yeah, or like puts the front wheels up on the curb so it don't roll and drives away.
But before I throw it to Lynch, you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't doubt that Donald Trump loves America, but Donald Trump loves Donald Trump a little bit more, maybe a lot more. And
America.
As much as he wants to help the American people, what this comes down to is how the history books are going to write about him. I've said it before. Donald Trump could cure cancer. Somebody would say, "What about AIDS?" Donald Trump could give you $500,000. Somebody would bitch, "What about $1 million?" Give a nigga rope. He wants to be a cowboy. There's a give and a take to all of this, and at the end of the day, what Trump wants to take is legacy. He wants to build his legacy. Will he be a good president? I thought he was decent, not great, not good. I thought he was decent the first time around. I'm cautiously optimistic about this time. Lynch, go.
I can say the same thing that you just said. Cautiously optimistic. Some of his executive orders, I think, were no-brainers. The remain in Mexico. So he declared a state of emergency there. However, there was a kerfluffle at the northern border today where two people escaped and a border agent was shot and I believed killed.
No, really?
And one of the attempted the breaking news thing over the news, but right before I left work. But you don't hear the media pumping that one up too much, do you?
No, I didn't hear about it till right now.
Because it's not the southern border. Am I lagging, or am I just in delay hell here?
You're in delay hell.
You're all right. A little delay hell. Hold on. I'll be right back.
All right, he's gonna be right back. Continue on, sir.
But I don't know how I feel about the birthright citizenship. I can understand why they took it because of the way they're going to deport families. If you're illegal, you're illegal. Get the fuck out. And that is one way not to break up the family is so they all go back together. Daily squawking point in the fucking news every day. I mean, because people are already losing their minds. Look, we're going back to a reality which is biological and legally, in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the government, you're only going to have two options.
Yep.
And I feel I'm sorry that those options are being taken away from you. I truly am. I'm truly sorry that those options are being taken away from you. But because gender is a social construct, you can identify as anything you want.
They're not taking away your identity. That's the beauty of it.
Right. Do you still have the right, and you have the right to be a person and be the person you want to be and how you want to live your life. It's just not going to get any legal benefit for it.
Because you shouldn't. One of the things that came out was and it was in the days prior to the inauguration, was the signing of the sports bill where transgender females cannot compete in female sports, which I think is, as the father of a daughter, I think is fantastic. We've talked about Fallon Fox. We've talked about Leah Thomas. There's a reason why you have women over here, men over here. What you don't see is it going the other way. Would I love to see a female NFL quarterback? Sure, until she got her pelvis broken. If you want, you can't have it both ways. And that's what these people want.
Look,
Herm and Lynch and I have all said it. They don't want equality. They want equality of outcome.
No, they don't want equality. They want equity. They want equity. They want more than what should be given to them. Look,
sorry, not sorry.
Women fought for years to have their own segment in society, which is the whole reason between Title 19. You have equal opportunity in the workplace. You have equal opportunity. It just
societally
getting a loan just because it's societally you.
How come when Herm sits down, he freezes?
Have that.
When Herm was gone, you were perfect. Herm sits down, your computer goes to shit. Now we got an X. Not even a bar, an X.
No, just the X. It's definitely his signal, though. Yeah, like I don't have a lot that's going on with most of the executive orders he's put through. Like, but I, I kind of have an issue with one.
Is it the
Which
one
one?
we? It's got to be the blanket pardon.
No, it's not the blanket pardon. Do it out of spite. Whatever. We know exactly what it is. My issue is the taking. We've decided is instructing everybody to figure out how you're not an American now, even though for the last, I don't know, since it was fucking written that you were born here and you're an American.
Oh, birthright citizenship.
The birthright citizenship one is I have a problem, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, I'm not saying it's going to happen." My problem is that he actually thinks that that's a requirement, and my problem with that is that leads me to a slippery slope where if I can take an American's rights away with a couple of words, then it's not much more words required for me to take any of yours or his or my rights away.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
With a change of a few words.
Well, can I throw something out here at you?
Look, I understand the anchor baby thing, and look, you can leave. You can all.
No, the anchor baby thing is terrible. You're right.
Right. I'm not saying I'm not pushing for that, but you're going to take away rights. What you want to do is take away the rights of natural born human beings that were born here under the charter that we wrote this country under. There's a very slippery slope between just taking anybody else's rights away because you want to. The words,
agreed,
and because all you have to do under the way he wants to change it is it because it has specifically to do with the word jurisdiction.
Agreed.
If he changes just the right word, just the right way, he can take any one of our rights away too.
Correct. And one of the things, and I've tried to stay away from the former president Joe Biden, but just a few days ago, he basically decreed a 28th Amendment, even though it had not been ratified through the legislative branch, and it had been 40 years since the window of opportunity to ratify a 28th Amendment had passed. The Equal Rights Amendment, which by my calculation, we pretty much do have equal rights, men and women, in this country, unless you talk about men and female sports. Lynch is gone again. He'll be back.
He will.
But he just basically decreed it as if his word is law. It's in the law. It is now. It is the law of the land now. And anybody with two brain cells to rub together or half a brain knows that the president can't say that. And my question to you is this, because I know you're more left-leaning than I am. You're center-left, I'm center-right, but we're both in the center. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing by what you know from, I don't know, years of reading or maybe just high school government and economics, a president cannot decree an amendment to the Constitution. Am I wrong?
No, but there isn't. It's just it's a decree. It's not actually an amendment. Unfortunately, it's the language used that specifies what it is, but he can decree anything he wants. It just means that the king says and believes this to be true. That's literally what a decree is.
That's my only Joe Biden thing for this whole episode.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah.
Let's focus on the future.
And that was more of a power move and more of a way to communicate than.
I mean,
he can't. The current administration, I'm really concerned with. Look, I'm concerned with Elon not being present enough to know that waving his hand from his heart that way twice.
Roman salute. Look it up. It's not proper to do. It's not
Okay,
proper to do at that moment. But the Roman salute.
Look, I'm not. I didn't say that. I said
I know.
have the presence of mind to know within the situation.
Exactly.
all I
Don't
said.
do it. Don't fucking
that's all
do
I
it.
That's all
I've been watching
Just-
people.
Like you can do it. It's a Roman salute. Yes, sir. Yes.
No, what
I
was
get
it? What was it? My heart is with you.
Not.
Was the old Roman salute? My heart is
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
And
it's just,
people lost their fucking minds. It's like, have you ever read a book?
right. Well, that's the problem. Here is that if you're going to execute a Roman salute, you have to execute it correctly. The problem is he didn't open his hand and wave it like you're supposed to. He held it flat and kept it
After leaving his heart, he did. He went
held
like
it flat. And that's the difference between a true Roman salute. Sir, for you. And your
right.
hand
My heart
held
is
out.
with the people, and my arm. You see how my arm is?
Right, is you're displaying to the people. My heart is
Out.
with the people.
Correct.
Holding your and that's the problem. I have no issue if you want to do it, but we have to make sure it's visually and optically correct because we're just going to create issues for ourselves. I don't
disagree with you.
I don't trust Elon specifically to begin with. I think some of the people Trump has pulled in is very
Suspect?
oligarchy to a degree. We know how we know how he is around money and gifts and how money works with him.
Power.
Right? And I mean it in that respect. It's not a good look if you're gonna be who the president wants you to be. You have to be that person. You can't just be Elon.
I got a question.
There's a small amount of decorum required for what you're fucking doing. Put a fucking shirt and tie on. Let's go.
Right. Lynch, are you going to die?
No.
Please
All right.
don't die.
Please don't.
What was my question? Oh, you watched the secondary speeches. I did not get to see them. I am going to go on YouTube or Daily Wire or wherever and find the secondary speeches. Did Vivek Ramaswamy get up to speak at all? Well, there's a bullshit move because I'd rather have Vivek get out there and do his thing because it's him and Elon that are doing the Department of Governmental Efficiency.
He already backed.
No.
What
No.
What do you mean? No.
No, he's backed out.
He backed out?
Yes, 2 days ago, and he said, "Fuck this." He said, "Fuck you, people," because Elon has been trying to push him out because he wasn't exactly on board with the HB1 fucking visas. He was like, "Wait a minute, let's reconsider this." Elon basically has pushed him out, and he said, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go for the fucking governor of Ohio."
Good, and he should be because I'm going to say this: people
He
can.
was like, "I'm not dealing with this Elon bully bullshit."
Good on Vivek.
Get him out.
Good on Vivek. When Vivek announced his candidacy for presidency, I knew one thing: he wasn't going to win. But I started to read into more about
him.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh, he's so
I
good.
liked him.
The problem is
love him.
the left, and I'm not even talking about the far left. Everybody on the left. When you're a Republican, you're bad. And I heard that. I liked Tulsi Gabbard even when she was a Democrat. I liked, who's the other guy? Joe Manchin.
He was very much towards center.
Yes! He's the guy we want. He looks at both sides. But once Vivek aligned with Trump, I heard clown. I'm like, well, really? He built, Vivek, an immigrant, built a multi-billion-dollar business. What have you done? Well, he's a clown.
Right,
He's with Trump.
That he hasn't bankrupted a dozen.
Bingo! Fuck.
And it's successful as fuck. It's running good. He has, and anybody who would like to can come look at my books.
Bingo. Much like I said about J.D. Vance, when people took the, well, he's weird. Well, why is he weird? Oh, because Joe Scarborough told you he was weird. Or his whole wife, Mika Brzezinski, told you he was weird. Or Rachel Mandow told you he was weird.
My true thing with Vance is my senses and my gut just
okay.
It never lied to me, and my gut just something's not right.
I like Vivek.
He's bad. I'm just something's not right, and we haven't. There's something we're missing, and
the
gut tells me.
Okay, the two things about Vance that I'm going to say is I read his book years before he was even in the vice presidential purview. So when the thing came out from MSNBC, oh, well, in his book, he talks about fucking couch cushions. I've got a bet for everyone out there. The only thing keeping me from voting that ticket, DJT and Vance, was DJT. I would have voted for JD Vance if he was running for president because I think he's a good, solid guy. 2 tours, decorated veteran, came up from his bootstraps, made something of himself. Basically, he's the American dream. If you can find that passage in the book where he fucked a couch cushion, I will eat the page of that book and I will kiss your ass bald in the middle of Times Square at rush hour. You know why? Because it's not fucking there. Anyway, there's this divide where anybody aligned with Donald Trump is bad. We got, Marco Rubio, Ron DeSantis, all these people. I love Ron DeSantis. You guys know this. I wrote in my vote for Ron DeSantis.
Rubio's not my favorite person on the planet, but he does some decent bipartisan stuff.
You know what the best part about him is? And Lynch, watch Lynch's head, and I want him to speak on this next. Rubio and DeSantis are all about common sense. Yep. Go, Lynch.
I mean, I really think there should be a common sense party.
There should be. I think we should start it.
And
yeah, but that's subjective, gentlemen.
Anything is subjective, Herm. Anything in life is subjective.
What you,
Herm?
what
do you like Herm? Do you like sour cream?
I do.
I hate sour cream. However, 90% of the American people dig sour cream. Why would I go against that? I just won't eat it. Common sense dictates that sour cream is beloved.
That's not common sense, but that's the problem.
What I said was
that's labeling common sense.
Common sense dictates that it's beloved. It's beloved. Wouldn't you say?
No, that's a broad public opinion.
Sure.
You can't make a broad public opinion common sense because it's an opinion. That's the whole thing. Common sense is subjective. What I think is complete common sense
is.
Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever I think is. Take a cooking technique, any technique that adds.
I was waiting for that.
That adds 14 fucking steps to it. I think it's just common sense. Anybody else on the planet thinks I'm fucking insane.
Okay, I'm going to take a break.
Right,
we're doing really great. If you guys are okay with going long, I have one more thing I'd like to bring up.
Yeah, I'm good. As long as Lynch is, I'm fine.
Keep going. Yeah, if Lynch is, I'm good.
Like, common sense is so extremely subjective. What we all agree in opinion is common sense. Somebody else doesn't, because that's their common sense.
What are you doing over there, Sanford and Son?
But then again, common sense,
collecting my empties so I can take them out tomorrow.
It's a form of logic. Logic is literally, everybody's like, well, the logical answer. No. If you look at the definition of logic, it's literally a set of rules that you personally use to govern decisions. That doesn't mean that everybody's common logic is the same. It just means everybody uses logic, but the rules that they use as the fence around their yard are different.
That's true. I can agree to that because what I believe is common sense could be completely off base. And like you said about the cooking example, as a perfect example.
I need 2 minutes, guys. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's common sense to spend a week doing something for that I'm gonna do that process that I'm gonna execute for one plate for one meal. Everybody else would say you're fucking insane. That's just stupid. But to me, the rules that govern that decision aren't. So it's logic is subjective because it's the rules that you personally use to govern your decisions. And we're all different.
And my logic could be completely different from yours.
Right. You know, what you think is just logical and we're just going to go this route and that's how it's going to go. My logic, when I run the same scenario, comes out with a completely different set of possible actions for the problem.
Yeah, actions and outcomes.
You know, and
I don't know. I just hope we get through the next 4 years unscathed, relatively. Um, very worried about the economy right now.
Well, I'm
Not
worried
so
for
much for my,
business.
not so much so much for the house, for my job.
Well,
We import
my
a lot
big
of
issues
shit.
my big issues are, and again, I'm coming from a spot of food. Um, I they want to get rid of a lot of this stuff. Robert Kennedy does, but the issue is those things all happened and replaced issues that. All right, so it's definitely Chris's shit that echoes. Because I just
Hmm.
muted his mic. um, is the issues that they were solutions for food that were less expensive. All right, food lasted longer. Food was able to hang on a shelf longer and provides whatever it provides. You're gonna find if he has his route, food is going to get more expensive because if they can't use certain ingredients, they're gonna have to go back to the more expensive ones. Okay, so that's going to increase the price of food. Um, the other issue is that the amount of food that we have here, we don't actually grow enough food to feed our people. So we have a lot of imported food. If tariffs
No.
happen, your grocery prices are going to go up. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, the tariffs just get passed on to the end consumer and make it difficult. So getting rid of a lot of the stuff he wants to get rid of will make food inherently have to go more expensive. Getting rid of a lot of the things they want to do and applying the tariffs will make food more expensive. He's already said right off the rip, he's backtracked and said, I cannot change food prices the way that I said I did. Look, anybody in the food business knows that that's not how it works. The president can want whatever he wants. That's not how it works. It's supply and demand, and that's the system. Welcome to capitalist America. That's how it
Correct.
works.
Part of that also is for years, the government, whether Republican or Democrat, has cut down on the subsidies for American farms and imported cheaper product, and the American farmer has gone by the wayside.
I got to be
If we,
honest. I think the American farmer can go fuck himself. And
no,
people will
I'd
hate me
like to
for
hear
this, the
this.
farmer and the rancher. Okay, because all they do is bitch that they don't have enough, and the government throws money at them, and then we still don't have enough, and it's so difficult. But my food keeps going up, and somebody's got to be buying the food, and there's a trickle down effect. But the government continually throws money at the farmers, but all they ever fucking do is we don't have enough. You know what? Nobody ever throws money at fucking me and says, hey, do the best you can. And then when you can't, they throw more fucking money at us and we hold a Farm Aid concert. Nobody ever held a fucking Hermaid. No, that never fucking happened. All right. All we do is they bitch, yet they bitch and moan. They have nothing. But I don't know if y'all ever know any motherfucking farmers, but them niggas pull a wad of cash out their pocket that's big enough to choke a motherfucking horse.
I know
They're not
one farmer.
broke. They're broke because that's what they've decided to do. Look, we can't keep throwing money at them and the system goes to shit and we got to throw money at the ranchers. Shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. What I brought up was, what people don't understand is the American farmer, like you said, has gone capitalist, if you will. And, I gave you X amount of bushels of corn and yada, 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 or whatever, and I want what's mine. Well, you got what's yours. You grew the food. You sold the food. Why do you deserve more? But the more we sublet out to, like, you can get the same corn that you get in Iowa that you can get in Canada.
Like Monsanto and companies govern with food and govern their seed and whose stuff. But that's the problem. We just want to keep throwing money at the farmers to help them, but nobody wants to fix the fucking inherent problem with the fucking system.
It's almost as if the three of us share a brain because you just said what I was going to say.
Right, like it's almost like I know what the fuck happens in the food industry.
We've pissed in our own pond is basically the end result.
Right, and now
If you want the
and
American
them
farmer to
solve the problem,
succeed,
but now the farmers want you to fix it by just throwing money at them. No,
bingo.
you fix the
Yeah.
system.
The government
know what?
did let them down. I'm sorry. Go, Lynch. I'll go. I'll put my point out next.
Real quick. You know what killed the American farmer and American rancher?
What?
Greed.
Yes, I just said that out loud. They want more.
Okay. Oh no. When they were doing okay in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, when the American farmer was doing okay, something happened. And what happened is they spent their money fucking poorly and made poor choices and investments that bankrupted them because
Most
they
of them,
wanted
yes.
more. They
Yes.
wanted more. They're gonna diversify. These ranchers diversified and gave money to people who claimed to make them $10 million, and it just didn't happen.
Sold off chunks of land for quick
Yes.
money rather than investing in a herd. Yes.
Exactly.
They didn't invest in themselves. You had a period from the post depression to about the 1980s, when farmers and ranchers were making money hand over fist. They don't build those big fancy cowboy houses with a little bit of money.
No.
They didn't.
And we're on X again.
And relied on the government to subsidize their operating expense.
Yep.
Yes.
If they had taken their own capital and reinvested in themselves, that extra subsidy from the government,
Go ahead, Lynch.
that extra subsidy from the government would actually have been useful if you reinvest in yourself. When you own your own business, you have to sacrifice a portion of that money that you make back into the business.
Okay, you used to work on Scotland Road, right?
Ask me how many times that I had the business. Ask me how many times I owned the DJ business. Ask me how many times I took an actual fucking paycheck.
Almost zero.
Not once in 10 years did I take a fucking paycheck.
Lynch, you used to work on Scotland Road.
Right.
Now, right up the road from where you worked is Valley Hill Farm, owned by Alan Rainville. His dad and his granddad started that farm. I lived behind that farm for my early childhood years. I've known Alan Rainville. He can't really speak English that well, and that's only because he's probably had a dip of chaw in his mouth since he was 3 years old, which is how I got into it. Alan, can I bump a rub off you? Oh, hey man, yeah, you can get rubbed. It's out of time. Okay, whatever. If you drive by where the fork, Scotland Road, splits into the road that goes to Baltic, there's Lillibridge, and then there's Scotland Road, which turns into High Street. That little tiny house is the house that family has lived in for 75 fucking years. Alan Rainville. Hey, Jen, Happy New Year. Bitch, where have you been? We missed you. And Lynch is gone again, so I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to you, Jen, because Herm's up peeing, and, well, I'm just here. I'm going to continue the story until Lynch comes back. Valley Hill Farm. Yes! All by myself. I was telling Lynch, in Norwich, right at the Baltic border is Valley Hill Farm, owned by the same family for about 80 years. They lived in the same little-ass farmhouse for 80 years. Here he comes. Now I can finish the story. So Valley Hill Farm has produced milk, has produced meat, has produced corn. That's their three major outs at Valley Hill Farm. And they haven't bought any extra land. They go by what they have. And they do what they do because that's the family. That's what they do. They love doing it. If you went a little bit further up on Canterbury Turnpike there in Norwich is Tarrick Farms. They're part of the Rainville family. The Tarricks and Rainvilles are cousins. And the Tarricks were all milk. They were a dairy farm. So it was milk. The Tarricks actually were helpful in putting the nose cones based on the plastic they used for their milk production on some of the first space shuttles because the plastics were high density, high heat, high this, high that, whatever. I was amazed when Donald was the guy I went to school with, Donald Tarek. His dad came and said, this is how we got involved in the space program. Well, how do fucking dairy farmers get involved in the space program? I'm going to explain it to you. And he did. And it was fucking wonderful. But those two farms, Tarek Farms and Valley Hill Farms, have just dug and grinded and done the right thing for years without government subsidy, without so much as a lick. They're the ones doing it right. It's the others, as Lynch pointed out, as Herm pointed out, that have fucked this system up for everybody. It used to be America first. Now it's, well, what can you give to me? What can this person give to me? What can this person give to me? If you're still grinding like Valley Hill Farm, Hillendale Farm in Franklin, another great example. Eggs and dairy, they're just doing it, and they're kicking ass doing it. And for what it's worth, those are the examples that we should be following, not what can you do for me lately. Herm, I had a question, since we're going long and having fun doing it. I've been thinking about this all day because one of the executive orders was, and in the days prior, was the dissolution of the DEI section of the government. And I wanted to ask you this question, and this is an honest, serious question, and I want your honest, serious reaction, which I know I'll get. DEI, to me, means didn't earn it. It doesn't mean diversity, equity, inclusion, because I think we all have equal rights under the law, yada, 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 sis, boom, bah, let's call it what it is. If you go into a job interview for a chef position, till the government burns them down, Jen, you might be right. I'm not going to lie to you. You might be right. You go into a chef position. Now, you're fighting against 5 other chefs. Make your best dish, and everybody sits down, kind of like those TV shows. And you have the best dish. You make, I don't know, I'm just going to use, because I love them so much, the shotgun shells. And you're voted as the best chef there. But the guy comes to you and says, listen, you were the best chef. I think you could be the best for my business, but I have to hire that guy. Is that meritocracy or is that DEI bullshit? How would you feel if you got passed over for DEI bullshit, knowing you were the best of those 6 candidates?
Guys, I got to run.
All right, Lynch, we'll talk to you soon. We're not long for this world either, but this was the question I needed to ask.
I agree. You didn't earn it.
Heard.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know. I guess I just move on.
Why? You were the best.
Yeah, but life's hard. Put a fucking helmet on, bro. Go get another one.
You're right. Life's hard. Be the best. Get out there and be the best. Why should number 3 beat you?
But because that's what they wanted.
And they'll fail. And that's the business model will fail.
But that's not for me to judge. I asked for it. I didn't get it. I move on. I'll go find somebody else that appreciates it, takes it, wants it. It did. When it's supposed, that's not easy. So. When it's easy, it's supposed to happen. That's how life kind of works. It's supposed to be easy when it's supposed to. So
Jen, who has been absent for about 8 years. You remember Jen? She used to comment all the time. She used to love us.
Yeah,
says
when it's the right spot, you get popped. There it is. That's it. Move on to the
DEI
next.
puts the Caucasian male at a ridiculous disadvantage. It's the same as EEO. It's not right. It's not the right spot for you if they pass you for those reasons. I mean, look, if I'm hiring, I want the best. I don't want the second best or the third best. I want the best.
But I think I'm the best. But I'm not the guy making the fucking decision.
No, but if the guy looks at you,
the guy making the decision. But he's
that
not.
wasn't.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Nobody's coming at you. I got to do that. Maybe your buddy, if you knew it, and I'm asking my buddy to hire me, but that's not how real fucking business works.
No, I understand that.
I never knew that I was I never knew what that motherfucker thought. I just didn't get the job. I move on to the next one. I'm not trying to put that one thought or lost into it.
You missed the
I don't
part
give a
where I
fuck.
said
I move on to the next. No, I'm not. I move
You-
on to
no!
the next one. I'm a
because
chef. That's how it works.
I understand that. The part that I said was the guy comes to you and says, "You really did have the best dish. I feel you're the best fit. However, I have to go in this direction."
All right.
So you
that
lost
nigga's got
out.
that nigga's got a job to do too. He's just
Was he the-
doing his job. with
I understand
his
that.
rules.
Was he the best?
But I don't care. I only give a fuck if I'm getting the job or not. That's all
Okay.
I give a fuck.
I still believe in meritocracy. I still believe that
I
if
do
you're the
too.
best,
And if that's not
you
the
should
right
be the
spot,
best.
Then the universe is telling me it's not the right spot, and I'll have the right one when I get fucking picked.
The beauty of that, and I'll point
Then
out.
you think I am? I don't give a fuck.
No, I know how good you are,
You know what
and
I
I can point to it. How good is that restaurant doing that you worked at here since you left?
They're doing all right. The manager.
All right.
Doing all right.
How are they
As soon as-
doing?
I'm not impressed, but I don't know.
That's
I don't know what the books are. I'm not impressed by what I see, but if the owner, but again, I'm not making a call. Somebody else who owns it is, and if he is, it doesn't matter. As
All right.
again, doesn't matter how much I paid for the doesn't matter how much I paid for the thing I bought, as long as I think I got a good deal. That's all that matters.
all right. Let's flip the script for a minute. You have a restaurant, and I think you wanted to call it Butt Stuff. Am I right? You wanted to call it Butt Stuff Barbecue Restaurant, if I remember our conversations.
That was the Dirty Pig.
The Dirty Pig. Okay, I thought it was butt. Oh no, the T-shirt was like butt stuff, and if you do things to my butt or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you going to hire the best person, or are you going to hire? What are you going to do? I mean, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I'm miscommunicating. Do you want the best for your business to make it go from here to here, or maybe here to here, or just through the moon?
But
or
I'm a privately owned business, and I don't have to deal with corporate. I am corporate. I do whatever the fuck I want. I privately own it. I own it. I'm not working for a company that has other rules that they.
That's not what I'm asking you. The question was, do you want the best?
No.
Really? Oh, I got to hear this. No. I'm ridiculously curious. Why not?
I want people that know nothing.
What? Oh, so you can form them. That I like.
I don't want anybody with a fucking opinion. I want somebody that doesn't know shit. That has no, we used to do it here. We used to do it this. I want a blank fucking canvas that I can paint exactly the way I want. I'm the chef. They're cooks. Cooks do what I say. The cook's job is to do it 800 fucking times, the same every time. If I wanted you to fucking think, I would have hired you as a chef. But I'm the chef. It matters what I think. You just execute it. And I'm nice about it and respectful, and we all do it as a team. But that's how this works. I'm the general. I'm the commander. You're all soldiers. So honestly, I want soldiers that come in with no formal training so that I can teach them exactly how I want them to work what would it be? It would be your MOS.
Fair. No, absolutely. Let me go through some of these. Green equals moldable. The challenge is finding someone coachable. Great point, Jen.
Yeah, all I need is you to listen and shut the fuck up and do it, and that's it.
Look, anybody that goes in, yeah, anybody that goes into any job, forget what you know. Will bring with you what you know, but like Herm said, don't come in and go, well, at my last job we did it this way. Nobody gives a fuck. I get that. But and I'm speaking for me, if I'm hiring someone, whether it was at past jobs or current job, I want a general feeling that you are going to be the best at what you do. I'm not looking for you to.
I'm looking more for soft skills than hard skills.
Just describe the difference for those that may not understand it.
I don't give a fuck what you know or how well or educated you are. That doesn't mean shit to me because nothing on a piece of paper tells me how you work. What I want people with the soft skills. I want people that listen. I want people that ask questions. I want people that show up on time. I want people that
Well, DEI's out the window.
You know what I mean? I want people that show up on time. I want people that communicate. These are soft skills that you learn in my industry that are not, this is how you correctly cut this, a bâtonnet in a 2 inch by 2 inch by quarter-inch strip. Those are hard skills. Anybody can learn a hard skill. I can teach a monkey how to cut fucking tomatoes correctly.
Mm-hmm.
What I need is the guy that I can count on that's going to show up every time. The soft skills is are lost nowadays.
You've one of the girls that is our wait staff used to be one of my softball players, and loves to point out that that was my coach back 5, 6, 8 years ago. And she said, "You were always my favorite coach." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because no matter how much I sucked, you kept pushing me forward." And I said, "You know why?" And Jen hit it in the comment section, coachable, because you listened. You tried to take, you
actually listen and digest it and understand.
If I tell you, take this piece of paper, fold it in fours, one and then one, you now have 4 squares. Please do that for me. She would do it. Did she suck at it? Haley will tell you she sucked at fucking softball. But she tried, and she listened, and she tried to put it into practice. To that point, I agree. But I want the best person with all of those qualities. There's a certain element to DEI that I don't like, is we're just going to hire because of this factor or that factor or whatever factor. Merit, which is what you and I grew up on, only the best get promoted, or the best ass kisser, and then they find out that you suck and you fall. Jen, you know this. We work together. How many times did they promote the ass kisser and they failed? It's very much trial and error, but when you get the best and you find success and you move forward, the coachable will become the best of the best that you'll have. You're absolutely right, Jen. I don't want to mention any names, but you know a few that I'm talking about. There are people that you can coach and they become the best. Those are the best. Holy fuck. See, Jen gets it. I want the best. If I'm putting together a team, like Lynch said earlier in the episode, the Steinbrenner principle, I want to put together the best of the best. The Belichick principle, the, I can't remember his name. Fuck, who was your coach? Dan Reeves. Damn it. I got it.
Well, yeah, I mean, any manager worth his salt wants a team that actually is better at what they do than he is. His job is managing them, not doing their job.
Or hiring them to do the job.
You know what I mean? But and that is the case. But again, those people again usually have the soft skills locked in, which allows them to perform the way they perform.
Oh, absolutely. I've been out of the restaurant industry for, oh my God, almost 30 plus years. Don't hit the button. It's not a button moment, but 30 plus years. And then I got back into the restaurant industry, just bringing what I had to this industry and being able to work together with others with their skill set and what I know and how do we move the business forward. And I personally am succeeding. Is the business succeeding? Well, that's for somebody else to decide.
That's somebody else's above my pay grades call.
Bingo. But I know that when I walk through that door and when I say something, it gets done, and it gets done right. It gets done swiftly, and there aren't too many errors. There's always going to be errors, let's be honest. But I trust the staff that I have had a hand in putting together to be the best that we have to move forward. And to me, it's about merit. If I get 6 interviewees for short order cook or wait staff or what have you, I'm looking for the best. I'll know. With the cooks, it's different. Get out there and show me what you got. With the wait staff, you kind of get a vibe. Your wife has been in wait staffing and is very good at what she does. I would get that vibe off her if she walked in tomorrow, because there's a certain thing you get, you feel it, you understand it, and like Jen said, it's respect. There has to be a lot of respect. If you come in and go, well, I was the best at this, I was the best at this, I was the best, you're out the door. I don't give a fuck. Don't promote yourself. Promote yourself to an extent, which is why I have an issue with what we were talking about with the president. Promote yourself to an extent.
Don't over promote.
Right. But let the results speak for you. Get in, do the job, show me you're the best. Because if you are the best, it'll show. And if you're not, well, you're going to be on the first thing smoking out of town.
Word.
I just think that, especially with you at your level of competency and your level of knowledge, and dude, I've said it before, your cooking is disgusting. I can't believe I put it in my mouth.
There you go.
See, you're the best. So a worker who respects their superior will go above and beyond. Simply put out, thank you, Jen, once again. Jen's on fire. She's the MVP. Yeah, but if somebody with your skill level, your qualifications, the whole gamut, and you lose out to a fourth or fifth best, I don't want to say, oh, that was meant to be and I shouldn't have done this. No, you got hosed.
Yeah, I move on.
You, yes, and me, same thing. I've lost job positions to people who were vastly unqualified, and then I find out how terrible they were, and I'm like, bitch, you made the wrong fucking call. But we gotta shut this down, man. This is one of our longest episodes ever. And I hear the drums. Guys, don't forget, tell your friends, share the show, subscribe, like it. I don't care. Send us money. Do what you got to do. If you have show ideas, dysfunctionshow@gmail.com. Let's get it done. We're going to have fun next week. I will come up with, unless Herm does, because Lynch is not here. We're going to come up with something fun next week. In February, I've got a couple guests lined up, all for the same night. I'll talk to Herm about it off air. 90s Wrestling Mount Rushmore. Joey Casada, in. Jonathan Beck, in. I'm going to have a surprise run-in that you guys don't know about, but you'll find out that night. Herm, anything to say?
Nah, we're good.
God bless America.
Let's do it.
Judgment falls upon you at first night. I'm the hand of God. I'm the dark Messiah. I'm the vengeful one. In the blackest moments of a dying world, what have you
Herm's cooking makes Buc-ee's look like fine dining.
McDonald's makes it look like fun. And we'll see you next week.